I have started looking for a house.
Well, this is gonna suck. Tell me about this awful process, Reuben.
All right, look, in an ideal world, I don't want to be talking about this, but I kind of have to because it's taken all of the time that I would normally use for starting a nice, fun thing that I want to talk about. This is just an excuse to complain, really. So this will be a nice short section. Could be done in 10 minutes here, folks. I just want to complain. We are currently renting. The rental market is worse than it's probably been for at least 20 or 30 years. It's just really grim out there. And it sucks. I was lying in bed last night at 11:45 after we got back from an unspecified excursion that may or may not come up later. And I was thinking about this. And I was thinking that looking for a rental used to be a triangle, right? And you could choose 3 things on the triangle. Mm-hmm. And those things were location, quality, and price. And you could encompass all of those 3. But now, because things are so difficult in the rental market, that triangle has extended into a 3-sided pyramid. Mm-hmm. But you can still only...
4-sided?
No, 3... Oh, well, 4-sided. There's one on the bottom.
Yeah, there's one on the bottom. Yeah.
A triangular prism, maybe. But
Not a prism, a pyramid, you're right.
Yeah, okay. What I said then. You can still only choose...
If it was a prism, it would be 5-sided.
What?
You've got a triangle on one side, and then you've got the prism bit, and then you've got a triangle on the other side.
There's now a 4th thing, which is availability, or like, can you get it? But you can still only choose 3 things. So you have this like awkward triangle piece, like a pool cue or the musical instrument, a triangle, that you're trying to like place onto this pyramid to make it fit. But you can only choose 3 of the 4 things. You can have a place that is affordable in a nice location that's available, but it's going to be shit quality. You can have a place that's available and it's good quality and it's a good price, but it's in the wrong location. Do you get what I mean?
I think that one of those pool triangles or a triangle is actually technically one-sided because it just curves at the corners. It doesn't end.
But it encompasses 3 points.
So what you're thinking of is a triangle
shape. Well, that's why I opened with a fucking triangle, isn't it? Anyway, look,
I get what you mean though. When you did this,
it's a stupid model, but at 11:45 it seemed like pretty smart.
Yeah. But do you think that anyone can ever get the 3 points together?
Yeah, back in the day.
You think back in the day?
I do think back in the day.
You think back in the day when you weren't looking for a rental?
Yeah.
Things were better.
Yeah. I'm a real back in my day octogenarian. I just wasn't around, so it seems even more idyllic. I've been thinking recently, because online sucks and everything about the internet sucks. However, I do think it's made renting better. Like if every one of these applications we were doing was like physically writing it onto a sheet and also submitting like photocopies of our ID, I guess.
Nah, it wouldn't be that. You just go in.
Yeah, I guess you just go
into a real
in.
estate agent, you bring the documents and it gets done. I think internet's made it worse. I want to go into a store, say, hey, this is what I need. They'll be like, great, we have this for you. Go check it out on this day. Go, I like it, I apply. And that will, I think, the low barrier to entry for applications. Like somebody who's not really that interested in Queensland, who's like, oh, I might want to move to Melbourne or Sydney or fucking Hobart. Here are 3 places that I like. I'm going to apply to all of them. Whichever one I get, then I'll just move. Like people who don't need to live in a place. I don't know if this is a genuine issue, but this is just a concept that I've thought of in my head. That like anybody can apply regardless of their interest. You don't have to go. You don't have to put in effort.
Yes.
You don't have to. A lot of people are, and we have a fucked rental market, which means so many people are putting in a lot of effort.
Okay, I see. Yeah. But my version of this...
You can just flippantly apply.
...is maybe for inspections when there are no inspections available for a property. And I email the property manager and say, hello, here's me and my housemates and I, and here's a bit about us. Could we please inspect this property? And they say, yes, here's a time. Come at 5 p.m. next Tuesday. And I say, fine. And then I rock up to that inspection and there are like 10 groups inspecting. I'm like, you didn't all request this inspection. Some of you just found this, which is fine. I'm not actually criticizing those people. It's totally fair and I wouldn't expect them to behave in any other way. No. And I've definitely involuntarily done exactly the same thing. But that is when I get this triggered sense of like, I want this place. I'm actively looking at it, and the rest of you kind of just found it. However, I get it because I do the same thing and there's no way of knowing. And really, we should all be on the same team rather than fighting. And some of the best moments I've had while looking for a house have been with random other people who are looking for a house. Just being like, gee, it sucks out there, doesn't it? Or like, this one's all right, isn't it? Or how are you today? You know, the stuff that real estate agents do not cover.
I think that looking for a rental turns me into a terrible person. I think as soon as I step in to a rental inspection, I suddenly see everyone else as the enemy. I'm like, how can I take them down a peg? How do I dissuade them from wanting this place? I'll walk around a place being like, yeah, but like, you know, in my work as a tradie, I recognize that this place would fall over with a 20-kilometer gust of wind. Oh, that dark spot there on the carpet. The carpet's completely dark. That's mold that's going to just ruin this place in about 2 to 3 months. You know, just like saying that stuff out loud so that people are like, oh, fuck.
You're like, it's a bit dark in here, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, the lack of sunlight in here, that's a good indication that you'd get cancer within 2 to 3 months.
Famously, sunlight. Very good anti-cancer.
But I start judging people. I'm like, you don't deserve this place. You look pretty well-to-do. But then I also rock up to a rental inspection looking as well-to-do as possible so that the rental, the fucking, what are they called?
Real estate
agent might look at me and be like, well, they look pretty well-to-do. Let's rent to them.
Yep.
It becomes a dog-eat-dog world. And it's capitalism, baby. That's what capitalism does.
That's capitalism, baby. I've got at least 2 more complaints.
Right,
here's one. You know how we've got a bunch of improvements in the last couple of years in Victoria for like renters' rights? And so you can like bang a nail in the wall and you can't have a no-fault eviction anymore and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I could kill someone.
You could bang a nail in this brick wall here that looks a lot like my forehead and it'd be fine.
It'd be fine.
You wouldn't be liable for that legally.
Because I'm within a home which I rent.
Yeah.
It's like the gun laws in America where if you step on someone's lawn, you get to shoot them. You know about
You get to shoot them if you step on their lawn.
No, if they step on your lawn, if somebody steps on someone's lawn, the somebody who owns the lawn gets to shoot them.
Okay.
Do you know about?
Yeah, sure. I believe it. I don't know about it specifically. You got to remember that in my head, the rules are you can shoot anyone anytime and there are no consequences.
Sure.
So, unless they're a billionaire healthcare CEO.
A couple of years ago, I was coming home quite drunk. I got an Uber back to my family's house in America, and I had only stayed there like 1 or 2 nights, and it was in an area where a lot of the houses look the same. So I went up to the house door and I put in the key code, and the key code would not work. And I just kept trying and trying. And I started knocking on the door. And then I was like, I'm just going to walk away from the house and call my mum who's staying here and see if she can open the door. I walked away from the house, started ringing my mum. I looked back at the house. That was not the house that I was staying at. I was just banging on this random stranger's door.
Like it was California.
Well, I learned later on from the people that own, like the family members who own the house, they're like, oh, I guess the neighbors weren't home. They are gun owners. We know that they're gun owners.
Jesus Christ. Jesus.
Anyways, is your issue with renting maybe being shot if you accidentally knock on the wrong rental house
Should
door?
that be my issue?
I don't know. What are your opinions
on
It
is weird
laws?
How you build a little map of the city, like an overlay that goes in your head of like, I inspected that, we applied for that. I wonder who's living there now. That one, I wonder if it's still empty. I haven't seen a car there. It's a weird double speak. But what I was going to say is we've got all these rental law improvements, right, for renters' rights. But we don't have maybe the one that is the most important to me. A fucking floor plan should be a legal requirement if you are listing a house. We have looked at so many 3-bedroom places that are 2 bedrooms with a study.
Yeah.
Or like a 2-meter by 3-meter bedroom that opens directly onto the lounge room and has like one tiny window. I don't know. It seems to me like if you're especially when the photos of rental places are so bad, you should have to at least include a list of the bedrooms and the communal areas with like the square meterage at the bare minimum if you're not going to do a like freaking nice graphic.
Yeah.
Drives me insane.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I think, first thing I look for when I look at a rental
100%.
listing is the floor plan. The floor plan gives me maybe a better idea than any photos.
100%.
If I got the option of looking at photos or a floor plan, I think I'd choose a floor plan.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's also good for planning and just being like, will this actually fit my shit?
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. There's so many 2 bedrooms, just straight up 2 bedrooms, even though they're listed as 3 bedrooms. There was a prospectable place that we were looking at that had like a second bedroom, the third bedroom, but you had to go through another bedroom to get there. And it was clearly like, sometimes, you know what? A study can be used as a bedroom.
Sure.
For sure.
But I don't think you should be able to list it as a bedroom.
I think you can list it as a bedroom if it's large enough and if it's in its own dedicated space. Because when it comes down to it, it's just a room.
Sure.
Like what defines a study?
Sure. I think it's a core issue for me because so much of how we categorize houses, like, what are you looking for? Oh, like 3-bedroom in this location under this price. And if it's such a fundamental part of like how we all communicate about houses, we should maybe agree a bit more on what a bedroom is and that the standard of living should be just a little bit higher. But I do know what you're saying. It can be hard to tell. And there are definitely places we've seen where there's sometimes even a 4th room.
Yeah.
It could be a study or a bedroom.
Yeah. I consider a room that is closed off by a full door to be could be a bedroom, you know?
Just put a floor plan in, I reckon.
Just put a floor plan in. But yeah, no, this one had a room that was listed as a bedroom that you had to go through someone else's bedroom to get to.
Crazy.
That's not...
Who wants that room?
That's not a bedroom. That is a study.
Yeah. Yeah. The other thing that is driving me crazy at the moment is, I was going to say it's not anyone's fault. It is. It's very many people's fault. But it's just that the information is there and I would be less angry less often if it wasn't, right? Which is when you go onto some of the collation websites that grab property listings from a bunch of different agencies like realestate.com or domain.com, they're all owned by freaking very rich big corporations. You can sometimes see the property history. And the property history will be like, last sold in 2004 for $200,000. Last sold in 1990 for $140,000. And then you look at the price and it's like $1 million, $800,000, $1.2 million. And I know we're not buying, I know we're renting, but that ridiculous, insane capital gains increase, that like wealth accumulation that has happened in my lifetime sometimes or not much longer is wild. Like the fact that someone just happened to be wealthy enough or had worked a good job for a few years or had inherited wealth and they bought this place for dirt cheap and now it's like an inner city gem, even though it's falling apart and has holes in the floor and has freaking, like, I don't know, a kitchen from the 1960s. They still get to sell it for $1 million. That's crazy. Yes, some of them really do.
Yeah.
I just think, I don't know. It's just like, obviously I've been reading over the past couple of years all about this, but now that we're looking again, it, I don't know, just arrives in your lived experience in a different way.
Yeah, for brutal. Sure. It is. I mean, you said before, you know, we've had this spike in the last, 10, 20, 30 years, whatever. It was around, I think it was 2000. I was watching a real estate property, money financial analyst talk about it on an ABC thing. And they're like, oh, it was 2000 where this government did this particular thing to the gains or whatever, halved it or doubled it or did something where it just like...
Didn't John Howard half the capital gains tax?
Yeah, I think it was that. And so the property value and income, like disparity, just doubled.
Wild. Look, I don't want to get political, but I want to get political because that's a crazy thing to say. I don't want to get political. Yeah, I fucking do. Politics affects our lives in so many ways. Yeah. I don't think anyone has a solution to housing, really. Fundamentally, I think we need more supply in the long term.
Restart?
Could be. You don't like fire, though.
I don't like fire, but if it's for the service of my country, burn them all. Get big planes to drop fire on all of the houses.
Interesting call forward. The Greens have the plan for rent caps, which a lot of economists say won't work in the long term because it won't increase supply. The Labour Party has a plan to very slowly build a tiny bit more social housing, which is like, great start, but what else are you going to do? And the Libs have the ridiculously cooked up plan to let us get $50,000 out of our super to pay for a house. Now, let me just lay out, I'm not going to quote any economists at you. I'm not even going to be like, here's the complicated reasons why this doesn't work in terms of Keynesian economics. I'm just going to say on first principles, here's why that doesn't work. 1, every house will just increase by $50,000 in price. 2, most of us don't have $50,000 in our super. 3, so many of us are not even close to home ownership, and another $50,000 won't get us close to home ownership.
$50,000 doesn't buy you an $800,000 house.
Or even a deposit for one.
Yeah.
We need better rentals, more rentals, and more secure rentals. We need a European-style system where you can get a 20-year lease on a place instead of a mortgage that you're never going to be able to pay off. I rest my case.
I also think that radical idea, maybe you shouldn't have over a certain amount of houses.
Yeah, 2.
Let's say, max is 2. Let's do what we did with the guns. We're like, look, if you have over this amount, you have to sell them.
You have to bring them in here,
I mean,
and
that's
we're
what
going
I
to put
did
them in
with
a big
guns.
pile, and we're going to crush them.
With the guns, they said all guns. Well, if you want to. They said, we'll pay you to have your guns and then crush. It's basically the recycling program.
Yeah. 10 cents per gun.
10 cents per gun.
That was a lot back then. That was enough to buy a house.
But everyone's like, look, we'll pay you for them. Well, I don't know, just to fucking...
Or just do it.
Yeah. Oh,
you're a government. Fucking regulate.
Yeah.
You're meant to provide services, and housing is a fundamental human right. Well, you signed up to the Declaration of Human Rights, but apparently that doesn't mean shit.
No.
Anyway, that's enough from me.
I would love to have a place to live.
I would love to have a place to live that doesn't cost me $50 every night I stay there, which pretty much everything does.
Which is crazy because, you could almost stay in a hotel, like a
right?
shit hotel for that amount.
Anyway, I'm done.
You're done?
Yeah.
Is that it?
Yeah.
You're finished?
I feel like I've peaked. It's all just going to be mopey grumpy from here.
All right.